So this was 6 days ago. But this has been going on for a year, okay? Yeah, new research might point out to location remains of Noah's Ark. And let me tell you about this. If you saw my other video, I said how there is a ton of this stuff going on all over. That's it's like God is truly revealing the truth of everything. Yeah. Now the mainstream media, because they walk a dark path, will continue not to report this. They do report it in snippets, and they'll report it in their online stuff. But, you know, they hope that you'll just pay attention to them on TV, and then you'll be stupid enough to believe you know what's going on in the world. No, all these archaeology finds are amazing. And again, were really started happening a lot when Trump came into office. I don't know why. Lift regulations, or wanted to stop the science from using the DNA to just try to clone everybody and maybe, you know, put it to good use. Archaeologists believe they may have discovered the final location of Noah's Ark on Turkey's Mount Ararat. Soil samples from atop the highest peaks in Turkey reveal human activity and marine materials. Dating of the rock and soil from the location match with biblical timing of Noah's Ark. Researchers from a trio of universities in Turkey and the United States have spent roughly a year analyzing the rock and soil in the famous Dupanar Formation on Mount Ararat, the highest mountain in Turkey. Now, the science in some of the, because as I said, I've been following this, the science is already saying, we don't know that this proves any Bible. Okay, so first of all, they don't read the Bible, so how would they know, okay? But they're experts, higher educated. But there's many universities on these sites, okay, so that's the good thing, other people to keep them in check. And I don't think God's going to allow them to get away with that stuff. We don't know. We're going to refute it, because the science will always go out of its way. They'll do it in a nice, pretty, peer-reviewed way, but they will always go out of their way to discount God. And there's plenty of evidence. There's been plenty of evidence for Jesus and the Bible. But again, it's all about the science becoming an idol. Like they're uncovering these idols in all these digs they're doing. That proves the Bible, because I mean God and Jesus talked so much about the worshiping of false idols, sacrificing children to false idols, all this stuff, and now they're finding the evidence for that. If the science itself can't put two and two together, then it should just tell you that they are on a path that's anti-Jesus. They're too biased. So, but as soon as they started trying to say that about this site, well then today or yesterday this came out. Traces of seafood on Mystery Mountain could help prove Noah's Ark is real. Noah's Ark was real. So this goes hand in hand with that, what I just said. Archaeologists believe they may have discovered the final location of Noah's Ark on Turkey's Mount Ararat. And it said here, soil samples from atop the highest peak in Turkey reveal human activity and marine materials. Traces of seafood on Mystery Mountain could help prove Noah's Ark. So it's sort of like as soon as the science starts trying to refute God, they just are getting slapped down. And I think that's how it's going to be for them. So they might want to take that under advisement, just, you know, from somebody who's obviously, you know, not like them and doesn't have all their education, but still, they might want to take that under advisement. Yeah. They're finding underground cities. There's so many things. It's really, and again, I said in my last video, they're repatriating things to other countries that belong to them. So this is one of those things, repatriating artifacts, possibly even the Elgin marbles. Museums around the world are going through a reckoning. Some institutions are assessing their collections and deciding where certain artifacts should be returned. Yes, and I said in my last video, like Iraq they've even have returned, and this has all happened under Trump. Yeah. You know, that's what kind of maybe happens when you get somebody in that's trying to do the right thing. I know, but all the haters out there, right? Well, they'll just stay haters. That's who they are. Here's another one. 2,000-year-old street built by Pontius Pilate uncovered in Jerusalem. Yeah, and so I think most people, well, maybe you don't know, Pontius Pilate is the judge and jury who, called, he didn't want to, but he thinks he washed his hands of, because he said that Jesus was an innocent man, but because the Jewish leaders were demanding that he be put to death, and Jesus was blasphemous, which he was not. So Pilate ordered for his death. So a little bit about this. What they found here is that archaeologists recently uncovered a 2,000-foot-long, 600-meter boulevard built by Pilate, a feat he might have preferred to be remembered for. It took an estimated 10,000 tons of limestone to build the street, and it is highly likely that the road connected to the Pool of Siloam in Jerusalem at the Temple Mount, a holy site where ancient Jewish pilgrims went to worship, that is revered to this day. The pool is where Jesus healed the blind man. Yep. So, yeah, interesting timing of all this. But I really, stuff like this excites me because there was already enough evidence for the Bible. There really was. There's the shroud. There's been atheists that have gone out of their way to do research. The one I can think of is the Case for Christ. I forget, Lee Strobel. He was like a Chicago Tribune atheist, and he decided, no, I'm going to write a book and disprove it. So put this to bed. And everything that he went to, he couldn't. He ended up becoming a believer. Yeah, so it's a really good book. It's been around a while, but called The Case for Christ. Gives the evidence, and because that's what he was determined. No, I'm going to show there's evidence. There's not evidence, and he ended up realizing no, there's a lot of evidence. They 4 Roman swords discovered in Judean cave. There's just so much. I wish I should have taken more pictures of those pages. There's so many, and it's like it's changed over in 2016. And then they were going to have to stop in 2020. I think that COVID-19 was trying to shut everyone down, because I guarantee you, as God is my witness, the science does not want anybody to believe in God. And really, the people that are persecuted the most are really the Christians. They are. So it's been like that through history. The effects of COVID-19 coronavirus are being felt within the world of biblical archaeology. Southwest Baptist Theological Seminary recently announced that they will be shutting down their archaeology program due to budgetary restrictions. This is partly in response to COVID-19 and partly as a result of an institutional reset. That's in quotes. In its mission, 5 professors have been let go and 25 graduate students are left without a program to finish. It's unclear how this decision affects the publication of their final excavation report. COVID-19 has also led to the cancellations of planned excavations in Israel, including the dig at Tel Dan by Grand Rapids Theological Seminary and the Mount Zion Archaeological Project. Both plan to resume excavations in 2021. Right now, this is a quote, right now it is looking like we will have a right now it is looking like we will have a postponed and shortened dig season, if at all. Well, they're back to digging and digging even more, because that's the way God rolls when he's ready to reveal truth. There's no science, no COVID-19. None of them are going to be able to stop it. And obviously, I just wanted to show there's been many articles about about this Noah's Ark one. It's not the Ark. You saw in the mountaintop of Turkey. I think the reason that it's never been attempted, or they had, I thought I had read they haven't had trouble getting up there. I'm not sure why. I'm sure because of many reasons wanting to get in their way, but God's not having any of that anymore.